Hello and welcome to. I went blank for a second. In which the pages? Extra. It's Extra Connection. That's right. Welcome to Extra Connections. I'm James Lott Jr. here on my network, JLJ Media. Welcome to the show. I love bringing guests who are doing all kinds. I love this kind of guest. I love because she has her hands in different things and making it all work. Let me tell you some things she does. She's an actress, voiceover, sports host, dancer, fitness instructor, cheerleader, and very funny, nice person. And she's in the upcoming limited series that's coming out, which I'll be watching on Hulu, Pam and Tommy on 2/2/22. Like that, all those twos. It's coming out then. And I'm very excited to actually see what they do with this. And she's in it. Jennifer Stehlin. Jennifer.
Hello.
So how are you, girl?
I am wonderful. It is a nice, hot, sunny day here in LA, and I'm loving it. It's great. Yes. Warm January is my favorite.
Sorry, folks out there, you don't have this because this is why I live here. So
I'm so sorry if you're cold and it's snowing. Not my cup of tea.
Mine either, girl. Mine either. All right. So I want to add the first question I want to ask you is, so you're at a party and people are like, "Oh, this is Jennifer." Blah blah. When someone says, "Jennifer, what do you do for a living?" What is a common thing you say? Because I have that same problem too. So what do you say?
I actually say it's a very complex question. I do about 5 to 7 different things. And then I usually go down the list of actress, dancer, model, on-camera host, sports reporter. I do voiceover work. Yeah. I'm definitely forgetting a lot more things. Yeah. But as the conversation continues, I'll be like, oh, yes, I have worked as an assistant director before, all the things.
That's true. I mean, I think you probably agree with me. Nowadays, you have to be a multi-hyphenate kind of to make it in this business, right?
Absolutely. You know, I just think like Reese Witherspoon, for example, she's a woman who does it all. And she's someone who would love to follow my life trajectory along.
Don't blame me.
But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I think now everyone's an entrepreneur and you have to understand the business from all aspects of it, you know, and I want to do multiple different things. I want to produce, I want to direct, and I also, you know, want to be in front of the camera. So it's one of those things where you really have to be dynamic and versatile in this industry. And I think that's kind of just what I'm working on, building that resume in every little area. You know, when I'm not filming on camera, I'm working on things off camera. I'm creating, collaborating. And, you know, I think that's just the way the industry is nowadays.
Yeah, Jennifer. So when did you realize that a lot of people in this business don't realize it is a business? You're the business. You're a business. It's your business. Mm-hmm. When did you realize that?
I was exposed to the industry at a really young age. I was 13, but I think it really clicked for me when I was 15 and working on the promos for American Horror Story. I was like, oh, this is a really big deal. And my uncle is an executive producer and basically taught me, he's like, every minute counts. It could literally be a minute could be like $1 million mistake, you know, and it's just like when you're young and you don't realize that, you know, there are hiccups that are going to happen. So they build in time, they build in budget, but there are things that can be devastating. You know, it's a very expensive industry. So
it is. That's right. That's very smart of you because a lot of people don't get it until they're like, I don't know why what's happening. I'm like, it's a business. You are the business. So whatever you do, you gotta be really aware of that every step you take. Like you said, every minute, every step.
Yeah, it's even like, you know, everyone on set, it's like everyone's a team to execute a certain job. Like, you know, your sound guy, you need to be friends with him so you sound good, you know, and it's like also wherever that mic pack is going, you know, might be a little awkward situation. So like, hold on.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, he's also listening to all your conversations even when you're not filming. So you just kind of really realize that there are so many different elements that take to really, you know, make a movie or a TV show or even a commercial.
Yeah, that's very true. And I tell folks, that's why I stand by the crews all the time. They're the hardest working people in the industry.
They are. And you need them on your side because they are your team. You know, it's, you know, as an actress, it's kind of a scary moment. You just really hope for the best, that you're like, okay, everyone behind the camera is directing me. I'm in focus. You can hear me clearly. Everything that I'm doing is in the right lens, you know, for the camera. And so it's a lot to think about and process, but you definitely go down that list, you know, and I love everybody. I think everyone, who works on, on like the crew side of things and on camera, it's really just a team effort. I'm a team player kind of girl.
No, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I love collaboration. I love team. And I like you. I get that. We were joking before we got on camera. Like, you want to make sure you're lit correctly. You want to make sure that, and all these things, make sure hair and makeup are good. Make sure. So be nice to them, folks. Be nice to all of them.
Yes.
Right.
And it's like, because it's even like when you're like on set and like then your lips are like a little cracked and a little crusty, you just pray to God you can find your makeup person. You're like, I need some chapstick. I really need chapstick. I'm not like crusty crust on camera in this close-up shot. No.
I know. So okay, wait. So talk about this particular project. Was it filmed during COVID? Was it filmed during 2021 or 2020? When was it filmed?
2021.
Okay.
It was this summer.
So okay, I'm not going to ask you if you've seen the infamous tape, but what I'm going to say is, I'm sure you were aware of it. Obviously, it's an iconic thing, right? It's an iconic thing. So when this project came across your desk, I'm saying desk being funny, like desk.
Yeah.
When it came across your desk,
well, let me just take a little dabble. Let me just see.
Exactly. What was your thoughts?
Absolutely incredible. I was just mind blown that this was just honestly a project that was coming across my desk because I was so excited. I think Lily and Sebastian, they're incredible and talented people. And so even just the opportunity to work with them on any project would have been amazing, but especially this one. It was definitely really, really exciting. And when I got that call, I was like, oh, we're doing this. We are really doing this. And then even just like on set, I was like, this is so real. And just, I think you did it in such a just tasteful way. Okay. I'm really excited for everyone to see it.
Yeah. So who do you play?
I play Angie, and I'm one of Pam's best friends.
Okay, that's very good. Very good. Okay, yes. I love her. I'm a big Pam fan. I've met her several times over the years. She's always very nice, and I love her. Was she on set at all? Was she around? Was she there? No,
she wasn't on set. But yeah, no, I love Pam. I think she's absolutely iconic. She's one of the first women who came out and just had the attitude of like, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I can do it, and just an absolute powerhouse. So to be able to work on a project that, is about her life in such an epic moment.
Pam, I was a big, she's one of the ones she had movies, she had TV shows. She was out there the whole, like you, she had a multimedia empire. And like I said, I met her several times. She was always nice. So I always thought, it takes, this is not an easy business, folks. I mean, it really isn't. And she has lasting power. She has staying power. So
absolutely. She's going down in history. She's already made history, and she will continue to make history. But even then, it's like I always just remind myself, I'm like, kindness is free. You never know what someone else is going through. And it's like even the amount of times I've just been at the grocery store and the cashier just needed to vent for like 5 minutes. She was like, I broke my knee. It was Christmas, this and that. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And then she was like thanking me at the end of it. She's like, thank you for listening. Nowadays people are so quick to be on their own schedules and just blow everyone off. But I think just constantly being a reminder, like we're all human, we all make mistakes, and we need each other.
We do, especially more than ever. So who is Angie? When you're playing her, who is she? What kind of person is she?
Oh, well.
You're smiling, so I'm very excited. I'm like, what kind of girl is she? No, yeah. What can you tell us?
Angie is your go-to girlfriend who is down for anything, always ready to go to a party, loves playing dress up, definitely a little bit of an instigator who loves shots, always down for a good time. We can definitely flirt our way into any situation, and we're definitely going to have a good time. She's your best gal who's always on call, your go-to girl. You're like, hey girl, do you want to go to a party? Sure. I'm already there. Give me 5 minutes.
Exactly. We always have those. Yes.
Always. You always gotta have like little, you gotta have your heels in the car just in case. Even if you're coming off a workout, you never know what happy hour you might find yourself.
That's so LA. You're so right about that, though. It's so LA. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do you think? I'm gonna drive 30 minutes home to go get shoes? No, honey. Like, I don't care what we're wearing. We'll have a wardrobe change in the car.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Cute little pony. Thank God a party pony is in, you know, a little bun is in.
Yes, it is. It is. I know. I love those. It's so, oh my God, it's so true. I mean, see, I don't want to talk about, don't try this at home, folks. But back in the day, my girls, I'd hold the steering wheel while they're putting makeup on as we're driving to Hollywood, like, did all the time.
Yeah. Me and my friends now do the switcheroo, the red light switcheroo. Be like, are you done? Can you drive? Let me hop in.
I love it. But again, don't try it at home. We're just saying,
don't try it at home.
Don't try it at home.
Don't pull over into a parking lot.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Be situationally aware too, what streets you're on.
It's so true. But yeah, so there's a lot of fun like that. So that's great. That's fun. That's great. But the COVID, was it really heavy COVID practicing? Was there like social distance? Like, how was the whole situation for you?
Yeah, so we it was very, very safe. We were testing every single day, you know, wearing masks on set, and also just like who was around. We kept distance, which, well, I mean, it was kind of hard for me, but then again, you know, when we're working, when we're all literally sitting next to each other, I was like, well, we're gonna hang out too as friends. I love people. I love talking. So I'm one who's gonna like get up, go mingle with people, you know. And so that's probably like the hardest part about COVID is because it hides half your face, mask. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know.
But yeah, it was mask, it was shield.
Okay.
Definitely always tricky, you know, with makeup. You need the makeup team on the side.
So let me ask you about that, because I was wondering, how was that with me? Was it, were you kind of reapply all the time? It was always touch-ups all the time because
it was a lot of touch-ups. But that's just kind of the nature of it. But also, you know, that makeup is thick.
No, you're right. You're right.
It does stay on there. But our team are perfectionists, you know, and amazing at what they do. So they actually kept us, you know, pretty well, all things considered. You know, we even had to put on the big shields too, when it was too much, and like space us out, and we're all in big rooms.
So this was, I believe this is set starting in the 90s, right? Because when it happened in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Was it fun going back to the 90s for a little bit?
I mean, I loved it. I love the clothing. I'm like, we need to bring that back, please. Like my favorite was like the wardrobe test, putting on all the fun, the red, like just everything they wore in the 90s was just amazing. I'm like, wow, everything that's old comes back again. So I'm like, can it come back a little sooner, or I'm just gonna do it anyways?
You started, girl. You started.
You know, like, it was just so much fun to like play dress up, and like the hairstyles. I was like, I'm loving all of it.
That's what I'm excited for. I love seeing nostalgia. I love seeing nostalgia. So yeah, I'm very excited to see that. So that's exciting. So folks, that's gonna be on 2/2/22. So that's gonna be on Hulu. Good. Now I want to ask you about some of the other things you do. Now, one of the things I want to ask you about, because I feel like I want to know if your opinion on this. Is it starting to get respect, cheerleading? My niece is a big cheerleader, college cheerleader. Has been doing it for years. You'll start as a kid, went out to high school, now she's in Hampton College, does it there. My sister was cheerleaders back in the day. Like, and back when I was coming up, it was like this kind of bit of a half joke, no one watches the cheerleaders. I'm like, well, actually you do. But now it's a sport. It's a whole industry in sport, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm thankful that even social media has opened the eyes that cheerleaders are athletes. You know, it takes a lot of discipline. You know, your body's considered, you know, like staying healthy, staying in shape. All of that is encompassing. And even when I was a D1 cheerleader at the University of Florida, they treated us like athletes. Like we were doing Olympic training on top of all of our stunting. We were doing condition training, like all of the things. We would have 2-a-days during the summer in the Florida heat, just like the football players. Out there is like 100 degrees.
The humidity.
Yes, Florida is like 100% humidity.
Oh my goodness.
And you know, it's one of those things where even when I was in college, it wasn't really shown, but now there are other shows that show just how much hard work and time and dedication really goes into the sport.
Yeah, and the routine. You have all that going on. You have choreography.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like this whole, you know, you're dancing, you're performing, you're all of these things going on. So it definitely takes like compartmentalizing, and that memory muscle in your brain gets worked a lot. And it's like things change, and people also, like they get sick, they get COVID, they have to be replaced, taken out. It changes a whole formation. And so it's constantly a grind, but I have to say it's so worth it. I started out in dance, and then I transitioned to cheer, and was able to cheer in college, and then continuing as a professional cheerleader. It's been an incredible journey, and I'm fortunate to even have been doing it this long.
Because were you with the Raiders or who are you with? You went on when you were doing cheerleading stuff.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a professional cheerleader with a professional sports team, and I'm currently based in Las Vegas. But yeah, it's great because who doesn't love dancing and cheering and flipping your hair? And also, I want to touch base with what you said about hyping up the crowd. A lot of people don't realize that being on the field and being able to hype up a crowd when they literally say, get loud when your team needs it. That is one of the biggest impacts that the cheerleaders have. So I'm actually glad, we're getting a lot more credit.
I think, me too. I think so. But you just said something that I've never asked this for anybody. I've interviewed dancer actresses. So because you come from a dance and cheerleading background where you have to remember all the routines, all the stuff, has it helped you with your memory as an actress?
I believe so. Because the way my mind works as a dancer, the whole song tells a story. So even when I'm memorizing a script, I have to see the story, and I actually learn better as I'm blocking out the scene and going through the movements, because I have to put my body in it. If I'm just like sitting there with a script, I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. I'm like, we need to be doing the action, holding the script, like even just practicing for a self-tape. I'll do dishes and then go through my lines, because it's just so natural, and then it gets in the body, and then you kind of figure out where, because half of acting is, it's what you're saying, but it's also what your face is doing, what your body's doing, where your hands. And so it's for me as a dancer, I gotta move to my lines.
Yes, exactly. That makes sense. No, seriously, because you have a musicality, because you're a dancer and cheerleader. You have a musicality, and acting has musicality too. There is
absolutely. Well, and like you definitely too can elaborate that, through like the chemistry of just interacting with someone. Because in dance too, growing up, we did duets, and you had to have that chemistry and that connection, for your dance to basically win at a competition. Those were like the best dances, is when you can see it. It's like that epic moment when you like lock eyes. Acting, so you just kind of, it's definitely been an interesting experience, like figuring out that that's how my mind works. But I'm honestly so glad I did, and I got to see like the whole story. I also sing too, so even sing like the sheet music as well. I'm like,
that makes sense. That totally makes sense. That seriously makes sense to me. That totally makes sense to me. I like that. Now I want to talk about your hosting, because that's what I do, and I host.
Yes.
And so how'd you get started in hosting?
So I majored in broadcast communication, specifically in sports news and social media, with a minor in innovation. And when I was in college, we were top 5 in the nation for our journalism program. And so we had a state-of-the-art studio, and we would have our shows and all that kind of stuff. And that's really how I got into it. I knew that I always knew that I wanted to set myself up to have options. And, I wanted to act, but also I'm thankful I went to school without any college debt, because I got academic scholarships for my academics and everything. And so that was the choice I made, and I'm so grateful I did, because it actually got me into sports. We had an ESPN department, and that's really how I got into it, because I was really fascinated with being a D1 athlete, but also you're still going to school, and you have to go to class, and you have to take your exams, and then you're traveling on the weekends, you're competing for national titles. And so that was really my intrigue. I've always been a people person. And yeah, I think that's really where it all started to develop. And I learned teleprompter skills and,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Teleprompter. Yes.
and news anchor and all that. And I realized I didn't want to do news. And then I dabbled in sports and loved it and still did it. And then when I moved out to LA, I actually got into red carpet and I was like, this is amazing. One of my favorite. I used to do So You Think You Can Dance. And so as a dancer, doing that, growing up on the show, I absolutely loved being on the red carpet. It was so incredible. But yeah, I'm always fascinated with people's stories. So I think it was one of those things where I'm always like, well, why? Like,
we're nosy. That's why. We're nosy in a good way. I said I'm nosy.
Exactly. I'm just curious.
Curious. I know red carpets. I miss red carpets because there's not that many anymore.
I know. There used to be a ton
all the time. I used to go to all the time, and you see the same PR people like, oh, it's hey, it's you. You know each other. Send your people over here, that kind of thing. And
exactly.
It's hard work, folks. Though, I mean, you're standing for a long time, and you got a lot. There's a lot of waiting, and
and then when they come, they all come at once. And
yes.
People always come and you don't know. You're like, you were not on my list, but that's okay. We're going to chat anyways.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Yes.
It's one of the craziest experiences because you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to show up. I think that's the biggest intrigue is you're like, well, there might be a few surprise guests.
And you're fine. You said it so perfectly. Like all of a sudden, be like for like 15, 20 minutes, nobody walks by. And all of a sudden, there's like 5 people. And I want all 5 of them.
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah. It gets madness out there, but I'm just excited I'm glad that I've had experience on both sides. Obviously, I want to be on the carpet a lot more, but it's a work in progress.
And you'll get there, girl. I have no doubt. Here's the thing. It's like, I think what's good for you is that you're actually now, in several of your fields, you're experiencing both sides. So that's going to make you a better person on both sides. Like you could be an athlete but also do sports hosting. You could be an actress and then also be a director, and it's like this is good for you. This is really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like you have so much time in a day, and I think one of my biggest things is I get bored really fast, so I have to do a lot of different things. And right now I'm not working every single day on set. Right. So until that happens, I'm going to fill my days doing other things, even if it's just little baby steps that I can improve on or focus on. It's those little steps that get you to the big step. And I'm a big proponent of just understanding everything that's encompassing about the industry. So I put myself in these positions to learn all sides of things. I mean, okay, I probably will never understand how the camera works or how to build one, but I know where to find a guy.
Okay. Just as important, girl. Just as important.
That's understanding your resources. So,
yeah. You know where directors are and cinematography, you know all
exactly. And working on set, just understanding how each department works together, from your grips to, your lighting team to even just the producers and the directors and that relationship and how that works, even to working with your cast. It's, it's a lot of work, but it's all encompassing. And I'm just really fascinated with all of it. So I definitely put myself in the position to learn all sides because knowledge is power at this point. The more you know, the more you can understand, and that will also better help your performance, in different kinds of situations.
I agree. What kind of child were you? Were you like this a child? Were you like a go-getting child?
I was.
I figured. I was like, you were.
So one of my favorite examples is I got burnout. I went to a performing arts school for dance in middle school. Got burnout. Told my mom I wanted to go to a normal high school. I wanted to be a cheerleader. Okay. So I transitioned to a different school that was a feeder into the high school that my brother and sister had gone to. Okay. Well, I go to this middle school. They had a state-of-the-art studio. And I walk into the principal's office and I say 2 things. I see you have a newsroom and a studio with 2 cameras and a green screen. I'm going to need to use that. We're going to need to have a morning show and an afternoon show. Also, you don't have a cheer team, so I'm going to need that as well. So just tell me how I can execute, how I can make this happen, and we'll do that. She's like, I have a teacher who can help you with the morning show. You just need to find a coach. Hey, Mom. I need to be the cheer coach because I need to have a cheerleading team. And then I go to my sister, who was a varsity cheerleader at the high school. And I was like, hey, I need you to run auditions. I need some cheers because we're going to have a cheer team. And sure enough, I'll never forget pulling out the dusty boxes. We wore cheer uniforms that were like, I think 15 years old.
My goodness.
I had not seen the day of light. And I was like, these will suffice, ladies, for now. They will work. We have washed them. Yep. However, let me just Google some uniforms and we'll get these upgraded just shortly.
Yeah, it's for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So you were a go-getter. Okay.
Yes.
You're my kind of person. Yes.
I am still like the audacity to just walk in the principal's office.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's who I am as a person. I'm pretty fearless when it comes to those things, especially if I want it. I'm like, I'm always curious. So I'm going to ask why or how or what can we do? Like, how can we figure this out? You know, I'm a solution-based thinker. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, your intercom news, boring. Let's have a show.
Love it. No, I mean, you speaking my language. I mean, I just love it. I think people are afraid. So we were watching this. Hopefully you'll get the kind of gumption to just follow. You got to do it. A closed mouth does not get fed. You got to get out there and get fed.
Yes. Like, and honestly, it never hurts to ask why.
No.
Never does. You know, and that's something that I've learned is just ask, you know.
And sometimes change will happen because I'll start thinking, why? Like, why can't we do this? And then they'll open their mind to wanting to do it. And they'll go, okay, at least someone challenged them for a little bit and said, I know it's always been this way, but why has it always been this way? Why does it have to stay that way? Right.
Exactly. So you got to ask. And if you want it, go get it and then ask sometimes why not,
So that's crazy. And then the voiceover stuff. So that must be fun. I love voiceover. I do voiceover also. It must be fun. So what's that like for you also? Because you can usually do that, in sweats or pajama. There's no kind of, that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because with voiceover stuff, it's a lot of room to play with each take and to play with your voice inflection and the speed of your voice. Like, how quickly do you talk? Or do you talk a little slower? Or like, how are we milking these words? What are we trying to execute here? How are we trying to get someone to feel a certain type of way? I think it's so interesting and unique because it's like, you can say a line and you can say it 10 to 15 different ways with different flares and inflections and all that kind of stuff. And so it's definitely been a very fun outlet for me to play with.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I completely think you're going to be stratospherically huge in everything. I mean, I'm going to be watching you. I'm now following you on social media. I'll be watching you. I'll be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Every new project, you got to come back on the show. When you have a new project,
absolutely, always. Duh, you're my number one. Hey
girl, come on.
Scoop. I'll give you an exclusive.
I'll take it, girl. I'll take it.
Hey, let's go.
I'll take it. But I really seriously think you're just gonna keep continuing because you have the great mindset. I think again, this business is not easy, but it can be a lot of fun. It can be really rewarding. And if it's in your blood and in your essence, go for it. Just don't let anybody stop you or tell you not to. She's an example of that. Don't let anybody tell you no.
I had a ton of people tell me no, but honestly, I know and believe like so deep in my like heart and soul that this is where I'm supposed to be, that there's a place for me, that there's a show for me, there's a movie for me, there is a Hollywood star for me that is going to be on that walk. So I know that. And, no matter what, no matter how many no's, I'm going to still keep going and trying because you only get one life. And I don't ever want to look back with regret and be like, why didn't I just try a little bit longer or just figure out a way,
Right.
Nowadays, there's so many vastly different ways to even get noticed, that I don't even think anyone can really write a roadmap with how social media works. You never know when, something might hit, you might be on someone's discovery feed and it's crazy, but I know someone is going to paint a role for me and it's going to be my face and they're going to see me and be like, it's you who I was looking for. And so I've had, luckily enough, like a few of those moments when I was cast in a pilot, and I walked in, immediately hit it off, with the writers and the producers and everybody. And they were like, you walked in and we had envisioned you this whole time. We had been casting and casting and casting. And so it's out there. It happens, and as much as you might look like the girl who, is auditioning right behind you, everyone brings something different. Our personalities are different. It's like the voiceover work. Everyone says every line differently. So you just have to go with what your best interpretation of it is.
That's smart. Again, that's smart too. Yeah, folks, don't. Yeah, just because maybe 5 of you look at it looking alike, don't worry. You're still you.
No matter like all the blonde hair, blue eyed girls. Like, well, this is me. I don't know about you, but this is what I got.
But it's so true. Everybody's unique. You're different. So like, just showcase your difference, and that's what so many go. You're the blonde hair, blue eyed girl I want. You're not these. You're the one.
Exactly.
And later they'll get their chance too, hopefully. And so that's kind of the goal.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of not giving up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that. Jennifer, you're the best. You're the best.
You're the best. You are. So fun.
I say here, so you have to come back again. So tell folks where they can find you on the social medias and what's going on there.
Yes. So you can find me. It's at Jennifer Stehlin, just JENNIFER STEHLIN. Yep. It's my website. It's my Instagram. It's my TikTok. It's all the things. I'm not active on Twitter, so don't go looking for me there. But hit me up on the gram. That's my bread and butter. I love it.
Oh, that's hilarious. Like screw Twitter. I'm on the others.
It's a lot. It happens so fast, I'm like, but I absorb photos and videos, and that's what I like to fill my feed with, and motivational quotes. I will post a ton of motivational quotes, just so you know.
I love it. I'm already following you, so I love it. I love
it.
And
selfies, because everyone should post a selfie, because you should. Why not? You have one life, and if it's a great selfie, the world needs to see it. Obviously.
Clearly. I do it. So yeah, sure. Exactly.
I know. I would love to take a selfie every single day of the year and put them all together and just.
That'd actually be fun, actually. That would be very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like 365 days of selfies, and then just like almost like have the video go like super fast.
Yes.
Like, did my face change? Did we go a little skinnier? What happened here? Oh no, I'm just filling out more. Okay, awesome. I'm cool with that too. Metabolism slowing down. No big.
It happens, girl. It happens. That's
trust me. I have dealt with the fair share of body waves.
Yes.
It's also part of being a woman,
Yeah, it is.
Changes. Hormones. All of a sudden I woke up and had hips. I was like, ooh, we can shake these bad boys. Okay.
They said you're a dancer at heart, so you're like, hips, great. I'll take them.
We needed some of these. I used to be a fox. I was like, oh, I am finally growing into my woman figure, and I couldn't be more ecstatic.
I love it. I love it. I do. I love it. Oh my goodness.
You guys need to walk on the carpet soon.
Yes. I'm ready for that. I know the world right now is going through stuff, and I hope we can get to it at some point again, back to some kind of normalcy of some sort at some point. I'm praying for that all the time. I miss that interaction. I miss the lights. I miss the cameras. I miss the people. I miss
all the things.
I miss all of it. I do. I miss all of it. I'm ready for it again. I'm ready for it. It's cool, but one day I want us in the studio together talking in person. I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Oh my God, I know. I'm like, I want to sit down with you.
I know. We have a great time.
I know. We have way too much fun.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm James Lott Jr. You can call me at James Lott Jr. everywhere. So please connect with other people. That's the whole point. We're all about connection. She and I both believe that. And everyone, please be safe out there and be careful. We'll see you next time.